Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Friday, December 25th, 2015. Merry Christmas. Ra and Luce here in the Lynn-Life, Asha in the Jamie Body Mind, other teammates in other aspects of the physical and to some small extent the non-physical, all of us in the subatomic from the perspective of the spirit world viewers. Our next deadline is this evening at sunset. And we are to dig down to truth upon which we can all base our lives, but not necessarily open the portal, just dig down to the door by that time. As always, our foundational intention is to do what is ours to do right now in all dimensions, to manifest the divine plan. The data very clearly showing what's needed is to provide a collective restart, that everyone over here is just too stuck. The hidden truth, what's under the Band-Aid, is this attitude. I don't want to do it, meaning I don't want to live my soul plan. And the rest of the attitude is, and you can't make me, which is definitely true, hence the need for a collective restart. Wiser minds above have given us a series of deadlines that end in January 17th, 2017, and take us from where we are in any moment to providing that collective restart. We intend to do what is ours to do to meet those deadlines, do the job as assigned. With that, the videoed portions of today's efforts begin. Isn't it interesting? Even the vortices don't want to merge with each other.
I was noticing that. That's true. It's like they would come together and then go whoo, and then come together and then go whoo. I don't know. It's strange.
It's really strange. Was it like that before they went through the portal?
I don't think so.
I don't think it was either.
Aerosmith.
Wow, your head hurts.
Yeah, his head feels really tight.
Yes.
And it's almost hard to see. It's like dark, and there are spots
Channels
in front
up,
of his eyes.
Aerosmith. Channels up, channels up, channels up. How high do we have to stretch in order to find a presence of true integrity? And how deep do we have to stretch in order to find truth upon which we can all base our lives? But channels up, keep looking up, keep looking up. We don't understand yet what happened with the vortices when you went through the portal, but we can see that it was devastating to your community.
That's true.
And we acknowledge our responsibility as Search for Truth team leaders to figure out what happened and to correct the errors that were our parts of the disaster.
That's true.
We're on it. We're to figure it out. What do I know? Wiser minds above are asking me this question. They ask us these questions so that they can see where we are in our thinking, because sometimes we think we know what to do and we're incorrect.
That's
true. So we are questioned in this way. What do I know? And they're talking about what I know about what's on the other side of that portal that was opened up at the base of Thing 1. And what it appears to be is another collection of dimensions that have different rules, but in those collections of dimensions, by and large, presences are living with the rules. They don't have this oppositional defiant disorder that we seem to have in our collection of dimensions.
That's true.
And so they're living much more truthfully, but they're living truthfully to different rules, different standards, and different questions.
That's true.
And when we ask, and how does it apply to our series of assignments, our soul plans, everything comes to what feels like a screeching halt. Boom! It doesn't. The answer is, well, it doesn't. That's irrelevant to that.
That's true.
Oh, got it. Okay, so we have removed ourselves from there and come back here. It's like, oh, correct. We see. Now, for people who are actually good and stuck, not living their soul plans, and are simply locked down against their soul plan, I don't want to do it and you can't make me.
That's true.
Then it's a benefit to go through the portal, because at least they'll be living in a place where there isn't an ambient energy of oppositional defiant disorder, and they'll at least be doing something.
That's true.
Now, why did it mess up the vortices? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't have that figured out, but I acknowledge that it's part of the puzzle.
That's
and
true.
As we keep going, it will become clear. I'm
That's
sure
true.
of that. How do I know? Well, I don't know how I know. That's a good question. Well, I know that each of us is always given what is ours to do right now. We as a community have until sunset tonight to get down to truth upon which we can base our lives. And Drill Bit and Black Wolf and the rest of that crew are working their way down, and it feels as though they're making progress.
That's true.
And they're aware that there's something really big down there, as Heart of Pan highlighted and as other presences have also highlighted. There's something really big down there.
That's true.
And that it's probably not 100% safe. But that's okay. Black Wolf loves challenge, and he's not a coward.
That's true.
Separate most true from least true, and burn that which is least true. And burning it with the intention to power probe. How high do we have to reach in order to find a presence of true integrity? Quite clearly, we all failed the pop quiz 4 days ago.
That's
all
true.
of us did. We all failed. What do I know? I know there's a difference between correlation and causality.
That's true.
And we know that the vortices fell apart in the time that they were on the other side of the portal, but other things were also happening at that time. For example, back here in the Search for Truth pillar, the reveal was going on, revealing us all to be, unfortunately, no more enlightened than Ram Dass.
That's true.
There we were, lying on the floor looking up at the pipes, so to speak.
That's true.
So we all did it, all of us who were on the roster of Team Awakening. And that roster at the time did not include Luce.
That's true.
It did not. So when I say all of us failed the test, what I mean by that is all of us on the roster of Team Awakening failed the test. Luce was not on the roster. He didn't fail the test. He actually passed the test. We failed the test. He passed the test. Did he get an A on the test? No.
No, but
He didn't. But he didn't fail it.
that's true.
It's very soothing, this action of separating most true from least true and burning the least true.
That's true. What I know is that when we first became aware of Aerosmith after that portal opened and many of the presences of the Search for Truth pillar went through, it looked like he was half sucked into that other dimension and half still in this dimension. And we had to pull him out.
And he was shredded. It looked like he had been shredded.
Right.
You're right. The damage to Aerosmith occurred on the other side of the portal.
And the others too, the other vortices, when we pulled them through the portal,
they looked chopped.
Shredded.
Yes. Okay, well, to not start with our own potential flaws is
completely wrong. That's
right.
true.
It has no integrity. So I was just trying, and maybe that's incorrect.
And maybe that was a part of why they got sucked in. It's possible they saw members of the Search for Truth pillar going through the portal. They felt hopeless. They went through the portal, and then on the other side of the portal, something bad happened. That's possible.
Aerosmith, come on, let's get our channels up. How high do we have to reach to connect with the presence of true integrity?
And everybody, all vortices, we can all stretch,
merge and zoom,
merge with each other.
Zoom, zoom. And we can all merge together. We can each build vortices inside of us.
That's true.
Zoom, zoom. And how long do we have to reach in order to fulfill the assignments given to us today?
That's true.
To stretch from probe above to drill bit below. Zoom.
Zoom.
All of us. All of us, we can do that. Zoom. What do I know? I know that in the past, what they used to say that we needed to do for our vortices is get their tip, their bottom tip down to truth so they could suck up truth.
That's true.
And when a vortex is operating inside of a reasonably clear space, it gets pretty healthy.
That's true.
Now, it's interesting. My story was it was their tips, their bottom tips that were
got
going
sucked
through the portal.
The dimension.
Yes.
That's true.
So this might be simply a lesson in the difference between truthful answers to other questions, and truth upon which we in these dimensions can base our lives.
That's true.
It's possible that they were sucking up what was in fact a truthful answer to a different question, and it was messing up their spin.
That would make sense.
It would. So maybe we can say to Aerosmith, who is the leader of the Vortex community, and all the Search for Truth Vortices, to head your bottom tip down that tunnel that Drill Bit and Black Wolf and his crew are creating.
Yes.
And intend to connect with truth upon which we can base our lives, and to intend to reach to it, just as we used to be able to have that fire hose of truth. And in our work earlier today, the idea was presented that perhaps that big thing that Heart of Pan was talking about is the fire hose of truth, and that we know that what do I know? We know the fire hose of truth was shut off about 6 months ago, and we haven't been able to find it since then.
That's true.
Maybe that's what we're reaching for. I don't know.
Maybe.
But when I say to these vortices anything about the fire hose for truth, look how their eyes get all misty, and they just want that.
That's true.
So maybe that's what we're going for.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It could
but
be.
It could be. It would fit.
That's true.
Especially after that Baobab reference yesterday, and when we went back and read through the log around the time of the Baobab experience, which was in June. It was early June.
That's true.
Of 2015. That was when the fire hose of truth was shutting down.
That's
true. It would fit.
The vortices feel excited about that.
Well, let's go for it.
Let's go for it.
It might not be it, but this is how we'll find out,
That's
right?
true.
So let's just form a working theory, get curious about it, and experiment. Let's get down to it and see. I feel like many vortices are now reaching into Drill Bit's tunnel.
That's true.
And now we have a little bit of airflow in that tunnel.
That's true.
I can see the candles blowing in the wind. I don't exactly know what that means.
It looks like the inside of a turret of an old castle with sconces on the walls, kind of.
Yes.
And I feel that wind moving up.
Yes. Downward,
downward, stretching down.
How deep will we have to reach to find truth upon which we can all base our lives? I hear a bell dinging, and it's like the ding at the end of a round.
That's true, of a wrestling match.
Of a wrestling match.
Interesting.
I wonder what that means. Did you hear that?
I hear that bell.
Yeah. Well, okay. It's the end of a round. All right. Well,
One
watch
round.
break.
That's true.